All right. Finally, some excitement. Man, let me tell you, this is why I love the NFL. There's so much excitement that can go into anything related to the NFL. We have the freaking schedule release, and everybody's excited to see when your team is playing certain opponents. More people were excited to see this schedule release than to see this upcoming play-in tournament for the NBA. Nobody really wants to see this play-in tournament, especially if your team's gonna play in that tournament. You know, it is what it is. Anyway, finally, the schedule release is here for all 32 NFL teams, and obviously, Ravens flock, we gotta talk about our schedule. You know, we heard how we were gonna have the second hardest schedule of the season, you know, right behind Pittsburgh, and now it's time to take a look at it. It's crazy. From what we've seen, it's crazy. For one, we have 5 primetime games as expected. As long as Lamar Jackson is our quarterback, we're gonna have like 5 primetime games expected like every single year. So yeah, let's get into this because this schedule, this whole schedule is crazy. So we start off the season week 1, right off the bat. Let me move this real quick. Week 1, right off the bat. Ravens at Raiders, Monday Night Football in Las Vegas. So already you're starting off in Vegas primetime. And it seems like fans are going to be allowed in the stadium, so it's going to be packed. That's going to be an exciting game. What a way to start off the season. After that, week 2 at Baltimore, back home, prime time, Sunday Night Football versus the Kansas City Chiefs. Can somebody explain to me 2 things? 1, why are we facing off against the Chiefs every year? Which, you know, at the end of the day, I'm not mad at that. I kind of expect it. But 2, and most importantly, why do they keep giving us the Chiefs early on in the season? Last year, it was week 3. The year before that, it was week 3. You know, what happened to just giving us the Chiefs late in the season, or at least in the middle of the season? Why do we gotta get them so early on? Whatever. Week 2, Ravens, Chiefs in Baltimore, Sunday Night Football. Then we head over to week 3, regular 1 o'clock game at Detroit against the Lions. Next up, we're again on the road going to Denver to take on the Broncos, a 4:25 game. And then after that, we're coming back to Baltimore, week 5, Monday Night Football game against the Indianapolis Colts. That's about to be epic. It really just depends on how Carson Wentz plays, because the Colts, they're built to be a contending team, but if Carson Wentz does not deliver, who knows what happens with that Colts team. So yeah, that Monday Night Football game should be interesting. Next up, the Chargers are coming to Baltimore to take us on, regular 1 o'clock game, and then you have to take on the Cincinnati Bengals. They're also coming to Baltimore for another 1 p.m. game. After that, this is probably around week 8, we'll take our bye week. After the bye week, the Vikings are coming to Baltimore, 1 o'clock game, regular stuff there, nothing to worry about. Then we get our next primetime game. Ravens heading down to Miami to take on the Dolphins. We all know that's going to be epic. I know Engraven's going to be at that game. Engraven's going to do whatever he can to be at that game. I know that for sure. It's in Miami. He going to make that game. But yeah, Ravens at Dolphins, Thursday Night Football matchup. It's going to be epic. The Dolphins this year, I'm telling you, do not sleep on the Dolphins. Last year, they were a great team. They could have made the playoffs, but somebody had to drop out with 10 wins. This season, they're going to be a beast. So this is going to be a tough matchup. After that, we're back to 1 p.m., heading to Chicago to take on the Bears. Then we have another primetime game. And this seems to be our last primetime game of the season, unless things change. You know, we could potentially get a 6th one if we get to a situation where the division is coming down to the wire, especially with this Week 18 matchup. You might see that. So after Chicago, Sunday Night Football, once again, versus the Browns. They're coming to Baltimore. Should be an amazing game. It's the first time we're going to face off against the Browns this season. Can't wait. Should be an interesting matchup. Both teams are going to be prepared. If you saw how Monday Night Football ended last season, this matchup is going to be beautiful. So I can't wait to see that. After the Browns, we have to take on the Steelers at Pittsburgh for a 4:25 game. So that's also going to be a great game. You know, it's always a joy going into Heinz Field, and it's always satisfying when you go to Heinz Field and you take down the Steelers. So can't wait for that. After that, the Browns, oh my God, what? So the Browns are coming to Baltimore for Sunday Night Football, and then after that, we got the Steelers. Then the Browns come to Baltimore to take us on 1 o'clock game. And then after that, December 19th, we've got the Packers coming to Baltimore as well. So we'll be taking on Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers, assuming Aaron Rodgers does play this season. I don't know what's going to happen with the Packers situation. We'll see what happens there. But yeah, Ravens, Packers should be fun. After that, we're heading to Cincinnati to take on the Bengals. Should be an interesting game. Then we're going to be taking on the Rams, which should be a 4:25 game. This is actually going to be in Baltimore, so should be a fun one. Last time we took on the Rams was a Monday Night Football game during Lamar's MVP season. That was a beautiful game. And to end off the season, Ravens, Steelers. Pittsburgh will be coming to Baltimore to end the season off. Now, once again, depending on how the season goes and how the division, overall ends, this Week 18 matchup could end up becoming a primetime game. They may push it to a 4:25 or potentially put this to be a Sunday Night Football game, depending on how close the AFC North is going to be. And judging by how much talent's here this season, the AFC North is going to look to be very close. It was very close last year. Pittsburgh won it at 12-4, but you had two teams in Baltimore and Cleveland that both finished the season 11-5. So I expect the division to be very competitive and close once again. It should be fun. So to recap, Week 1, we take on the Raiders. Week 2, we take on the Chiefs. Week 3, we take on the Lions. Week 4, Broncos. Week 5, Colts. Week 6, Chargers. Week 7, Bengals. Our bye week is Week 8. Week 9, Vikings. Week 10, Dolphins. Week 11, Bears. Week 12, Browns. Week 13, Steelers. Week 14, Browns once again. Week 15, Packers. Week 16, Bengals. Week 17, Rams. And to end off the season, Week 18 against the Pittsburgh Steelers. So yeah, it seems based on what we have here, we have a total of about 7 playoff teams we are going to go up against this season. This is definitely going to be a difficult schedule. So I'm not exactly sure how I would rank it in terms of what our overall record would be. I'm kind of teetering right now because I see a couple matchups here. Some of those are like what ifs, and others are like, yeah, I think we got them. So I'm not exactly sure, but I do find it interesting that like 3 of our first 5 games of the season are like primetime games. Week 1, you start off with Monday Night Football in Las Vegas. Then you come home to Baltimore to play a Sunday Night Football game. Like, what? I'm not mad at it. I love it. I love primetime games. What a way for us to start off the season. And it's a beautiful way to put the league on notice with this new offense they're trying to put up together. So if you want to prove something with this improved passing game and more of a balanced offense that would, the thing we're trying to make up with our own running game and passing game being more balanced, especially with the new receivers we got coming in order to show off this new passing game, it'd be fun to do it on primetime. So it's going to be very interesting to see what the Ravens look like. I'll probably take a look at the schedule a little bit more as, the weeks come by, and I'll probably come up with some sort of a prediction. If I was to make a prediction now, for the most part, I'm teetering between 12-5 and 13-4 on the season. I'm more so on the 12-5 region. I see a scenario where we can end up going 11-6, but I think it's going to be a 12-5 type situation. But I'm not going to say exactly who we're going to lose to. I'm going to take a little bit of a look on it and really get a feel for how I think the season's going to go for us against these opponents. So it should be interesting. But man, what a schedule for the Ravens. It is packed, filled with a lot of tough competition. So this is going to be a great season. It's going to be a tough season. It's going to be way tougher than what we saw last season. I cannot wait. This is going to be an epic matchup, an epic season. So many great moments are coming. Hopefully, the Ravens will be able to pull through, win a majority of their games, get in the postseason, and let's try to see if we can get to the Super Bowl this year. I'm very excited with the team. I really enjoyed what I saw from the draft, and I'm hopeful that our receivers pan out, and overall that our overall draft picks just pan out, because man, I hope they can come in and make an impact immediately, especially with the receivers. Hopefully this all goes well. But yeah, this has definitely been a great schedule, but it's a very difficult schedule. An incredibly difficult schedule, a lot of tough opponents. But again, as long as we have Lamar Jackson, as long as we got that defense, we should be fine. We win most of our games for a season, so I'm not panicked. I really look at the schedule, and I really like a lot of the opponents we're going up against. There are a couple that I see us losing to, but again, it really depends on the scenario. That's why I'm sticking with 12-5, but I can potentially see 13-4, and in some cases 14-3, depending on how it goes. But it's going to be very competitive. The AFC North is going to be very exciting to watch this upcoming season. It's going to be exciting. It's going to be great. I can't wait to see how it goes. The entire NFL season should be interesting to watch. But yeah, with that being said, that's all I got for the schedule release. I'll be looking to make my prediction soon. I'll just get a feel for how I feel about each game. And once we do that, it should be fine. But with that being said, that's all I got. And I'm out of here, man. Peace. Can't wait for the season to start.